Good morning, and the verse I'd like to share with everyone this morning. Well, first of all, before I share the verse, I'd like to apologize for having missed several days of sharing these verses. I kind of let the I kind of let these videos fall by the wayside a little bit with the other stuff I was trying to do for seminary and stuff like that. Sometimes life gets busy and we forget to share the things we're learning from God's Word. And unfortunately, that's what happened to me, but we're back at it now, and I'm going to try to not let that happen again. So, let's see. I'd like to share with the verse, I'd like to share with you all today the verse I found in Deuteronomy chapter 9. Deuteronomy chapter 9, verses 5 and 6, actually. And it's going to sound a little bit um, it's going to sound like a not complete line of thought because I'm not reading all of the verses that talk about this, but I'll explain a little bit what is being said here. Deuteronomy chapter 9, verses 5 and 6 says, Say, not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thine heart dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee, that he may perform the word which the Lord sware unto thy fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Moses. Understand therefore that the Lord thy God giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. These verses are a continuation of the history Moses is telling all of the new generation of Israelites, all the new generation that are about to go into the promised land under Joshua's leadership. Joshua is about to take command of the Israelites. They're about to go into the promised land after their 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. And Moses is giving them a history of their time, reminding them about God and his goodness to them and his laws and his blessings and his salvations and everything that he had done for them. So they come to this point of talking about the fact that they're going to take the land of Canaan, the promised land, and Moses reminds the people to not become cocky. Let's use a real colloquial term. To not get cocky about their position that they've been given. God gave them this land, yes, to possess it, to complete his promise that he had made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to throw out the wicked people that were in the land. He wasn't doing it because of Israel's righteousness, because Moses says, thou art a stiff-necked people. And so the Israelites had no righteousness of themselves that God was rewarding them for with this land. God was simply using his grace and giving them what he had promised to their ancestors. And I think that's something for us to remember. We as Christians can sometimes, if we're not careful, begin to think that we deserve something from God for serving him. And that is not the case. Sometimes we can think we've done something for God and we deserve a reward. So when God blesses us, we're like, oh yeah, I deserve that because I did something for God already. Almost as if God's blessings are a trade or something like that, where we serve God, we get more blessings as a prize for serving God. And that's not to say God can't bless us when we serve him. In fact, God promises that he will bless those who love and serve him faithfully. However, we don't serve him for that reason. We serve him because we love him, first of all. That is what every Christian should do. And then the blessings that he gives us, we see them as grace. Because honestly, our service to God is only the bare minimum that we can do. Even if we were to spend every moment of our lives serving God, as every Christian should, every moment of our lives serving God, we would still only be giving him the bare minimum that we can in exchange for what God has already given us, which is salvation, reconciliation with him. And so I think that's something important for us to remember. We don't deserve anything from God. These verses where Moses is talking to the children of Israel remind us of that. We don't deserve even one thing from God. The very fact that we wake up breathing every morning is a gift from God. And so we should serve him because we love him and thank him for whatever blessings he is gracious enough to give us. We should not allow ourselves to be like the children of Israel could have been and sometimes were, which is thinking that they deserve, because of their own righteousness, some sort of blessing from God. Something to remember in our Christian lives. Thank God for the blessings He gives you, and don't for one moment think that you deserve any of it, because our righteousness certainly does not deserve any blessing from the all-powerful and perfect Creator of the universe.